Yeah. So what does Latinx um, mean to me? We were all chatting about this beforehand, and it's funny. I feel like since the five of us have had this conversation, our definitions are probably coalescing a little bit. But I can tell you a little bit about my own, I guess, personal thoughts, which is that it is this sort of feeling of belonging, this sense of sharing some sort of cultural heritage with people from other countries, even. And these other countries are the countries of Latin America, as Alex described. And the wonderful Meg Medina, when asked this question during our Latinx Kid Lit Book Festival last year, mentioned in her beautiful Flipgrid that to her Latinx means sort of familia. And that resonated with so many of us because it was the sense of suddenly feeling like you belong, like people understand, like the food, the culture, the abuelitos, all of it. And so that's my answer.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. My name is Hilda Burgos, and I am the author of the middle grade novel Ana Maria Reyes Does Not Live in a Castle, the picture book The Cot in the Living Room, and the upcoming middle grade novel Miosotis Flores Never Forgets, which comes out on October 26th. My parents are from the Dominican Republic. I was born and raised in New York City, in Washington Heights. And I've been living in the Philadelphia area for many years now. This is where my husband and I raised our two now grown children. And in addition to writing books in my spare time, I also work as an attorney. So in terms of what the term Latinx means to me, it's similar to what Ismée said. When I thought about this question, what I came up with is that it means community. And obviously, as Alex mentioned, there are many, many countries in Latin America, and we have some similarities and also many differences. And like any family, we celebrate each other and we support each other, and we support those differences as well as those similarities. So that's it. Thank you.
We are all these different things. These are all parts of our story. The fight forward, and also what we've gained, and the beauty that has always existed running through our families and our veins. Does that answer the question?
Being Latinx is about being familia, but I think it's important for people to understand that the term Latinx is a term for us here in the United States. It doesn't mean anything to my primos y tíos y tías in Uruguay, because they don't understand that complexity of being in America and trying to find community when you may be part of a bigger community of the diaspora, or you may not. And that was my experience. So I think that in addition to being a family, being Latinx and identifying with that community is also like a chain, like a or a web of connection, where, as Hilda said, we don't have all the same experiences, but we have that sort of resonance that we can understand what it's like to come from somewhere else and be away from home, but also make our home here. So I think it's a really complex, beautiful question even to ask and to come up with a lot of different answers.
Thank you, Alex. And then that I think of Latinx or Latinidad or Hispanic, or whichever term you want to use, or debate about. I think of just the imperfection of any generalization of an incredibly diverse and complex group of individuals that encompass different races, religions, ethnicities, genders, and the way that the imperfection of one term that we could, in a hubris, think that could define so many people. So I think the words that come to mind are imperfect, but evolving. And it's so fun to think about in like 2 or 3 years, 5 years, what different term or with different ways we will have this conversation and you do like find new words to describe ourselves. Most of us here are creatives and writers and illustrators. So it's fun to think how Latinx will turn into something else, might splinter into other things as well that might be better terms, better, but still limited, of course.